Bet online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first to market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information from live in game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.
What's going on, Bills Mafia? Welcome to the post-game show for the Buffalo Bills versus New York Jets. We got gonna have a victory Monday tomorrow as we are celebrating the post-game victory here. The Buffalo Bills beat the Jets 20-12. I have the Hall of Famer Ruben Brown with me today. How you doing, Ruben? What's going on, man?
I'm great, man. You know, the Bills win. It's going to be a victory Monday. And it's a good deal, especially, you know, it's that time to hunt for the playoff and playoff seeding and stuff like that. So that's very important for the Bills to win this game.
It absolutely was. It wasn't the prettiest game in the world, but it wasn't the prettiest conditions in the world either. As we're going to go with you guys through quarter by quarter about what happened in the game, you take a look at the game in the opening quarter. It finished 0-0 ultimately, but a lot of missed throws on both sides. Neither offense could really get it going. It seemed like they were adjusting to the weather conditions. What is that like? Like, can you speak as a player? I'm sure you can attest to it, but like, can you speak to how those rough weather conditions, especially in Buffalo, can alter an offensive game plan?
These are the conditions where your running game and your rugged play has to be the staple of what carries you. And I'm talking like rugged plays where Josh can't just stand back there and throw the ball because the wind's blowing, the ball's slippery, it's icy, wet conditions. Footing isn't ideal for receivers running routes and such. So it makes it tough to stretch the field and get the ball down the field. So you have to rely on your ability to be like consistent and take like the short plays. For example, when you're walking on slippery surfaces, this is just a general person walking on a surface that might be slippery or icy or something like that. You take smaller steps, smaller space in your stride. You don't take your normal stride and step when the surface is dry and clear and there's nothing in the way where you could just run and you're free. When you're in conditions like today, you have to change the way you run so you don't slide and fall or slip, so you can make cuts and turns, so you're not as quick and zippy as you would be in other conditions. And that goes in the favor a lot of times of, I would say, the lesser athletes, the athletes that don't have that quick change ability. The guys like us, the offensive linemen that just can
Big
run
boys.
straight into that. Yeah, this is ideal for us. This is ideal for a running game. It's not ideal for a passing game because of Jim Kelly made it look easy, but it's not easy. So also it makes it tough for a defense to pass rush. The pass rushers can't, get the footing and, angles that they would normally get on a dry day. So, it could wreak havoc either way, but you have to be a really fundamentally sound team. Run the ball, possess the ball, hold it, don't turn over. No turnovers is really key in these situations, no matter what type of offense you run. And I would say that we did that today. No turnovers, and in these conditions, the turnovers are really the factors which decide the games. I mean, the weather helps loosen that ball or make that ball come out.
So they did not turn the ball over, which is, I hate to say it, but it's a little uncharacteristic of these Bills to not have a single turnover. That was pretty impressive in itself. You did what you had to do versus what turns out to be a pretty good team. You got to give it to the Jets. They are a pretty decent team. Like, they're not for real, So shout out to the Jets. Played a really, really good game. But let's keep at it. Early in that first half, Josh was running the ball, designed QB runs, things like that. We saw James Cook didn't have the best game in the world, but Devin Singletary was consistent with just over 4.5 yards per carry. So you said they didn't turn the ball over. How'd you feel about them running the football after they realized that passing it was not going to work?
Man, it's still lacking for me. I still think that, there is the offensive coordinator is really going to make or break this team down the stretch. Because we know the gimme is definitely letting Josh, get back there, decipher the defense, and if he has to take off and run with the ball, great. But the offensive coordinator has to give Josh a weapon and the ability to call run plays which Josh isn't running the ball that are effective. So many times the run plays that are called, they get blown up at the line. And I think that's just bad coaching and not giving Josh maybe the knowledge to say, hey, this play looks like it's a little overmatched for our offense, or they have a leverage on us. Let's change it up and go in a different direction where we have a better advantage. And that's a part of the run game that no one ever really talks about, just what the quarterback can do to get out of a bad play or a play that will end up being a tackle for loss. And we see that too much in the NFL right now, that the quarterback cannot, or the offensive coordinator doesn't give the quarterback the ability or the knowledge to adjust the run and still run. Everybody hears the call, they adjust to another pass or another pass. That's easy. This adjust to another run, which will make you way more effective, because you got the ability to pass to all the weapons we have. But I think our running game was just a little bit lacking. And it's par for the course, Justus, because we rely on Josh all the time for everything, and my little rant right here, my little thing, what I'm talking about right here is just the coordinator having a concerted effort to say, we're going to run the ball, but it's not with Josh. We're going to get, let's say, 18 runs or more from our running backs, not our quarterback, which, hey, if Josh runs 10 times and gets 80 yards, I mean, yeah, awesome. But we need some run that actually is a little bit more run design, not run after the fact. Oh, your volume went out on me.
Yeah, I had it muted by accident. But you take a look at Josh Allen, and he's Josh he had an interesting game today, right? They're closing out the second half. Of course, he had the touchdown throw to Dawson Knox, who made a pretty impressive play. Josh Allen had jumped over someone in order to get a first down on that play. When you see plays like that from Josh, he hurdled another person. Yeah. Like, what do you think about the Josh hurdles and getting airborne?
Man, I love those. Let's say if we're in the playoffs, going to win, and like there's no tomorrow. But when there is a tomorrow at this point in the season, there's a tomorrow. We will have another game until the season is done. And during the season, that's why I call for, hey man, let's get someone else to run the ball and jump in the air, because our dual threat quarterback, we love that he has that, tenacity and that energy to run down the field and jump over people and sacrifice itself, because I know that's inspiring to the rest of the team. But at the same time, this guy throws the ball for we need him to throw it to Diggs. If he runs down there running the ball and jumps in the air and comes down awkward, now we don't have him throwing anymore. And then probably he could come down awkwardly and limit his running ability. So I worry just for that reason. Do I love it? I love it. I love that he puts himself out there and goes for the win and goes for every inch and fight for it. But I just wish he'd be a little bit smarter, maybe some slides, get down a little.
He actually
early.
did slide today. Like, he did slide today, and I was like, huh. I wonder when he decides, to and not to slide, because like at one moment you could jump over somebody, and the next moment you slide in against the corner. Josh is an enigma. He really is an interesting character.
Yeah. He has the physical size to be that running guy and take those hits and everything. But I just worry. I'm an offensive lineman. I worry about our quarterback. We want to keep him upright and healthy and give him the ability to throw the ball. That's what his main goal back there is, to get everything going in the right place and throw the ball down the field. When it comes to jumping over people, I much rather see him jumping over someone for the win in the Super Bowl than jumping over for the win over the Jets and win, early in the season.
What? I was watching I Am Athlete, and they had Cam Newton for a live episode, right? And Cam Newton actually, he mentioned Josh Allen in the little example he gave, but he said that the worst injuries in his career had came from when he was in the pocket because he couldn't protect himself. He says when you're a runner, your antennas are up and you're able to brace for things or slide, when to protect yourself. He says that a lot of times for those natural running quarterbacks like your Lamar Jacksons and Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts, and he mentioned Josh Allen by name, he says that when you're in those positions to run the football, you're more comfortable because you're not at the mercy of other,
absolutely,
things that you can't control.
He's 100% right on that, in that aspect. When you're a runner, you get to be the aggressor. You kind of can choose your hit. Whereas when you're in the pocket, these are unseen hits. You don't see it. Somebody rolls up on you from behind and you're planted in the ground. You're not moving per se. Whereas when you're running the ball, you're aggressively moving and know that the attackers are coming and you can deliver a blow to brace and help yourself. The problem with Josh is the jumping in the air. Running through someone is a little different than jumping in the air and then you got to come down acrobatically and land all awkwardly. So
for those of you who didn't see it, I got to play for you guys. So
Now like creature from a different planet going, I can't, nope. And I mean, he spins. Watch this right here. There's 180. Wow. 270, 380.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Down awkward. It's one thing if he lower his shoulder and bracing and delivering a blow. That's real football right there. That's real football. Now jumping up in the air, that's some reckless football. You jump in the air on the football field. Ooh, you really giving yourself up. But listen, that action is so inspirational. If I'm out there on the football field and my quarterback jumps up and goes to get yardage that way, you got to believe I'm going to be laying it out for him the rest of the game and being inspired by him. So, I just have to worry. I'm almost sounding like a parent here. Hey, man, you get down early. But I'm happy when he survives something like that. We love that about him. I wouldn't want him to take that out of his game. I just would like the coaches to help take that out of the game for him, where, we got some rugged running backs. Give them a chance to do some of that.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Give those guys, a little more opportunity. They deserve it. I feel like they've worked hard enough and shown enough to show that they can be trusted with the football in their hands. If Devin Singletary is giving you almost 5 a pop, I mean, why not go back to them a little more? But before the half, that half was, culminized in a very nice drive, one that they didn't really see all day. You feel like it kind of clicked, and I don't know what it is, but it seems like that is not unusual with this offense, right? Like they maybe not play well for most of maybe they'll have one really good drive to open the game and then not play well until right before the end of the half. And I don't know what it is about them, but that drive was culminized by this play by Dawson.
Like creature from a different planet going, I can't. No.
Allen, he's got heat on this one. He's got Knox. Oh, look at that somersault for a touchdown.
That might be better than Josh Allen.
It is.
That was incredible. Oh, it looks like he got twisted sideways and got broken half. Oh, man. Wow, the heart. That was so big. And guess what? You want to know the difference in this game? Getting them to draw them offside. C.J. Mosley, you gave them life, and he is in.
How about that? He did. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That's amazing.
So what it's different, right? Because that's a tight end. I love Dawson.
He's supposed to do. He expected to get tossed around and throw his body around like that, But listen, I really like that Josh is able to find these different guys, and we got guys that can be, I would say, dependable in our passing game. And Josh can make throws all over the field in every area that the defense may miss. The defense today played a really good job of whether it was man, whether it was zone. They made it tough for Josh to find the receivers. But, it's one thing to get them covered for a little bit. It only takes one play with this Bills offense to really get them on the right track. They can sputter, like miss passes, and the pass be either behind or in front or, something like that. But when they click, it's really a thing where Josh isn't just throwing to Diggs. Josh is hitting everybody when it's clicking. All the receivers kid. I'm sure you saw, I think even in that series, if I'm not mistaken, McKenzie had a really good catch and then a really tough drop or something within that series.
Yep.
And then, he came back, he had a big catch, and then you get Knox for that great catch and great play after the catch. So we got the players to do it. Everybody can do it. It's just them figuring out when they have a formidable defense over there that where is Josh going to find it? Because I know everyone in the stadium thinks he drops back first place looking at Diggs all the time. But the defense is, as you see what the Jets have done, the Jets have been the one that said, nope, you're not going to throw the Diggs all day. You're going to find somebody else. And no problem for the Buffalo Bills because our quarterback can find other guys. Other guys can catch. You see, they're not all of them are as consistent as Diggs, but they all can catch and do damage enough. And all of them have been contributing. Everybody, even the running backs, have been contributing in the passing game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you speak to take away Diggs. Sauce Gardner had a lot to do with that. The Jets, like we said, they're not bad. They got some real good young talent over there. Sauce Gardner is looking like a baller. Garrett Wilson is looking like a baller. They've got a lot of rookies. One of them got the punt block. They got, and that running back looked pretty good too. The Jets are clearly building something over there. It's not just a fluke. And I mean, it's not illogical. Like, I'm not doing a hot take when I say Mike White looks better than Zach Wilson has ever looked.
Ooh, man,
so
did you see some throws that he made?
That play is.
I'm like, hey, Buffalo, next year you better have a running game because that dude is actually better than I thought he was. He dropped dimes today in a loss.
Do you think he could take that spot away from Zach Wilson? That job?
Possibly. I think he should have an opportunity to, because I saw some throws today and tight spot. What was it, like 3rd and 10, third and something plus, and he not only threw out in a dime spot.
That's from the opposite hash.
Yeah. No. When you see that, I'm a football player, and I done been on the field with Steve McNair, Peyton Manning. I done seen the best. And when a really good quarterback, any kind, throws a dime on the field, you hear everybody on the field go, "Ooh." and when he threw that dime today, I saw that. I said, "Ooh!" And to follow it up, Tony Romo them were talking about it too. Tony was like, "Oh, that's special right there." Yeah. I said, "I know that's special. If you play enough football, you know when that happens." And I think that kid's got something. They definitely are fortunate to have 2 capable quarterbacks, but something that the Bills will have to deal with down the road. And I think we got the equipment and the people to take care of that. But definitely, that makes you say, all right, these guys are not, as you said earlier, they're not a fluke.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, guys, go out into a football field and stand on the opposite hash and throw the ball to the opposite sideline. See how far that throw is. That's a really good throw.
Long throw. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the Bills, they, were winning at halftime 7-0. And then third quarter, we got some real action. The Jets came out. I think they had a turnover on that. You said what?
Oh, the Jets scored right after the Bills scored, right?
Yeah. Yep. So Tyler Bass came out, kicked the field. No, actually, the Jets got the touchdown first.
Yeah, the Jets scored, didn't they?
Yeah, they came out in the second half and they got their touchdown. That kid, Zonovan Knight, on a 13-yard touchdown run. He's pretty good. Then Josh Allen had a 5-yard touchdown run on another design run. So funny enough, I tweeted, like, for the love of God, please stop with the design QB runs. And I don't not mean that. You know what I mean? I still mean it. But at the same time, I understand when it can be valuable, but let it be valuable when it's valuable. I don't need a up the middle QB run on 2nd and 13. That I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me. And it never works. So it baffles me why they keep doing it. But a QB run like that, or designed run when you're 5 yards out of the end zone, I get that. And Josh Allen is a dangerous enough runner to make that happen, and he does it often. So even the whole sweep around the edge, I don't hate those plays either. But the design QB run up the middle really bothers me.
I hate that. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But I agree with you. You know, I was a big fan of Steve McNair when he played, and he was very effective when they got in the 10-yard line or the 5. You're like, oh well, they're gonna run that QB right up the gut. And one of the times, one of the 3 or 4 shots they got to get in the end zone, and they 10 yards or 5. You guarantee if they 5 yards out, they doing that play, and it's impossible, almost impossible to stop down there on the 5-yard line going in. And the only way to really effectively stop it is if you got a badass defensive line that can get back there, make some pressure or something. Other than that, everybody pass rush their lanes, you drop back, cover, quick QB walk in. Watch the old Steve McNair film. He every time he's at the 5-yard line, they did it. I like it. And I think it's necessary, just like a QB sneak in a 1 yard short yardage situation. You know, you on 4th down. I get it. I'm all for that type of play, and I'm all for that the QB draw sneak, like you say, in the appropriate situation. But just makes me, I'm being an offensive lineman now. I'm not a coach anymore. I'm just talking offensive line. Boy, it ticks me off that we can't give the ball to our running back or our fullback and let them get 1-2 yards, fall over in the end zone for us. You know, I really, like I said, that QB draw sweep, you know, thing is awesome when the game's on the line. But when you take the middle of the season, this point in time in the season, right? You're getting playoff ready, possibly home field advantage ready. You know what I mean? That QB sneak is much more valuable in the playoffs when it's a little bit more unexpected, or hey, they usually hand off to the fullback, or they usually drop back and throw a quick pass out to the side and stuff like that.
Were you on the team when Drew Bledsoe did that with Marshawn Lynch?
No.
No, when Seattle.
No. I would have been screaming.
I always remember that play.
I was screaming. No. I was screaming in the Super Bowl game when Seattle lost and they should have ran the ball, and they passed it instead. Honestly, what was the game against the Ravens? The Ravens ended up winning, and they could have the opposing team could have ran the ball, but they passed it instead and lost the game. Was that the 49ers against Ravens? Who played the Ravens in their last Super Bowl that they won? I forget. But anyway,
Flacco. Yep, that was the 49ers.
Yeah.
That was the Harbaugh Bowl.
It's so many times when, you know, the modern day football minds, they pass the ball instead of running it. When at the end of the day, this game started by pushing the ball ahead 1 yard, and it's man on man. You know, you run up into the pile and turn your legs and push forward for that inch. And that's really what football is. And that's what really galvanizes a team and makes a team feel like it's a team opposed to individual. You know, you can drop back and pass to a guy wide open, and then, you know, there's no glory for the rest of the team. You know, it's just the guy that threw the ball and the guy that caught it. Whereas you run that ball up in there, mash it up into a pile, now you got the O-line's a part of that. You know, the running is part of that. The whole group gets to be a part of pushing the ball forward and moving forward momentum. So I'd really like more concerted efforts to, you know, give just a dive straight downhill, you know, man on man, turn around, hand the ball off, get 1 yard. And that should be practiced every day by a team. Practice that every day. Just 1 yard, turn around, hand the ball off. Go over every scenario that they could break down that that front to cause you trouble and overcome and figure out a way to just turn around, hand the ball off, get 1 yard. That's it.
Do you think this offensive line, as currently constructed, is capable of doing that? Let's say 6 times out of 10.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a rugged team. I think they've developed offensively, offensive line over the year. Dawkins and Sappho's done an outstanding job. Sappho's definitely, my choice for like Pro Bowl type player this year because he's been consistent all year long. He hasn't been out of the lineup. He's been rugged and blocking and picking up blitzes. But when these guys are given a chance to be run blockers, they do a good job. Now, today was tough sledding for them. They had a tough defense in front of them, made it difficult. But it wasn't something that they couldn't have overcome given more opportunities, I think. And I think that is what's been there, I would say, if it's an Achilles heel or just the thing that isn't all right with the offensive line, I think it's just they haven't given the offensive line enough opportunities to actually just come off the ball and run.
I have to agree. I just want to see a more creative run scheme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I do need them to be able to get a yard if I need a yard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to just turning the ball around, handing it off to Sean Alexander and him just going and getting the yard, or Marshall Faulk and him just going and getting the yard? You know what I mean? We do need that. But also, apart from that, we also need a more creative run scheme because I have to disagree a little bit. I don't know if this offensive line is capable of doing it 6 times out of 10 right now, right? Like maybe if they practiced it and like made a more concerted effort of being a power run team, I think so. And honestly, if I have Josh Allen at quarterback, I would have a power run offensive line.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you would have a zone offensive line.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because if I look at a power run offensive line with a great quarterback, I'm looking at Peyton Manning. Josh Allen could be Peyton Manning behind a great offensive line, and then still also have the athletic aspects of his game. So that always confused me. So I would like to see the offensive line step up a little bit. All right, so closing out, the third quarter, the Bills get a field goal. Then they come back in the fourth quarter and score a field goal. And it looks like they pretty much got the game tucked away there at 20-7. And then the punt, Jermaine Johnson, of course, the Jets rookie, got a safety, made it a 2-score game at 9-20. And Greg Zuerlein kicked the field goal with 1:18 left. Now, Jets had 4th and 1. They're down by 11 points. So I at least need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. That is the bare minimum of what I need, right? It's 4th and 1. You're at your opponent's, I don't know, it was something like the 7-yard line or something like that. Do you go for that or do you take the points there?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not there, and money on the line. I'm such a gambler. I gotta go for the one and try to get more. I'm not that conservative, and when it comes to football, I play for the win. I usually go for it every time. I'm sorry. If you played me on Madden, you'd be sick. You'd be like, man, you don't never give it. No, everyone is a chance.
Yeah.
So I may not be the right person for that. And I'm glad I played on a team where other people could make those decisions for me, because I know Olin Kreutz and I used to joke all the time. Like, we would sit in a group, everyone's talking about, decision making and everything. And he would always be in the group and he'd say, there's one guy in this room that I know exactly what he's going to do every time. And he goes, anytime it's fourth and one, this guy is going for it. And I know the play he's going to run. He's going to run an ISO. And
Yep. Right up the middle.
Yeah, everybody turned to look like it's got to be Ruben, because that's all Ruben talks about, and that's just me. You know, if I was a coach and you were coaching against me, you'd be like, "Oh hell, he'll come to ISO." That's what I'm gonna do. You know, because I play the game different. You know, and I'm like, listen, we came to win. You know, and we came to go for it, and I'm gonna beat you, or you would have beaten me. That's how I'm not gonna walk away from the game like, well, we methodically did it. Nah, we on 4th and 1 times clicking. It's like kicking and going to overtime. Nope. I'm going now because I don't know what's gonna happen later. I'm greedy. I gotta get it today. I can't get it tomorrow because I don't know if I'm gonna be alive tomorrow. You know, I don't know what tomorrow. Today I got this chance. I'm taking this chance. Forget the field goal. Is that the right decision? You got to know the pulse of your team in order to do that. So I say that if you have my pulse, if your team's heart beating like my team beating, we going for it and we taking it. we ain't kicking no damn field goal. Fuck the analytics. We're going to win. This ain't soccer and this ain't Europe. We in the US of A where we go for the goal. You know, we don't play around. So, I mean, what do you think?
I think that any players out there listening that might be coached by Ruben Brown one day, you better come with it, because he gonna trust you emphatically, and you better not mess up.
Let's go.
I tend to agree with you there. If you're the Jets, you know, you're the Jets. You know what I mean? And although you're playing extremely well, you're the Jets. You know, you gotta take a little risk. And you're Robert Saleh right now. You're already exceeding expectations. Nobody's gonna fault you for losing a game to the Buffalo Bills. Like, you know what I mean?
On the road, in the Bills'
on
house.
the road, in terrible weather. Bro, take a little chance. You know what I mean? Hey, bro, show your team that you trust them. Show your quarterback that was undrafted.
Yes.
You know, that's coming in and playing amazing for you, throwing 300 yards in the last couple games, the last 2 games. Today, he was 27 of 44 with 268 and no turnovers. And he got smacked. He got smacked like 2 or 3 times. Got up and still kept going. That boy was special today. I mean,
I tell you,
as much as I don't want to give credit to the other team, he was special today.
Yeah, the Jets definitely made me walk away saying, "Uh-oh, there's some competition. It ain't no just Miami and just what will Belichick put together and get out there. It's actually like, the Jets is in here to play too, which is good. We need that type of push and stuff in our.
Because then we're not only looking forward to KC every year.
There you go. There you go. That gets you ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Buffalo Bills did end up winning the game after, you know, the Jets did take that field goal. They did get the ball back, but, you know, they so Buffalo Bills get the win. They moved to 10-3. This is the first time in, 29 years, 2 years before I was born. So 29 years that the Bills have had 4 consecutive 10-win seasons.
Oh, wow.
So we are in the golden era of Buffalo Bills football. And you know what? I was going to say this on one of my podcasts or whatever later, but I feel like it's important for me to say, right? Buffalo Bills fans, we got to learn how to be winners. You know, I see the anxiety. I see the impatience in our fan base. We want the Super Bowl right now, like, and I understand that. I do too.
Yeah.
But listen, we have a generational quarterback, not a top 10 quarterback, not a number 1 draft pick. We have a generational, comes once or twice every 30, 40 years type of quarterback. And like a GM who clearly does voodoo or some type of magic, a head football coach who is tough, can turn around the locker room, can change a community. He changed ours.
Yeah.
Like, let's give those guys the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? They've done nothing but hit on draft picks. They've developed players. Like, if they need to win a tough game in the rain to the New York Jets, or if the Hail Mary happens or the game against Vikings happen, does it suck in real time? Absolutely. But like, people jumping off the bandwagon, Sean McDermott can't win a Super Bowl. He doesn't have what it takes. Like, let's tone it down, guys. All right. It's 4-game win streak for the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember when the Bills would be like 4-7 going into week 12.
3-13. 3-13. So
come on, guys. Let's be a little more gracious, with how we perceive this team on a week-to-week basis, because they are out there playing their hardest. Actually, Ruben, real quick, can you speak to that? Like, when your team has a bad week and it feels like everybody in the world turns on you, like, what is like that? What is that like from a player's perspective?
It just shows the frustration of the fans and the impatience, like them being impatient, and it can get under a player's skin, because, I've run into fans of teams like growing up. I used to be like, a couple of my friends were Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New Orleans Saints fans. I'm like, really? You want to be one of them? And I'm talking the creamsicle Tampa Bay Buccaneers that didn't win any games. I'm talking the New Orleans Saints teams that they called the Aints. You know what I mean? And people we're not famous for that. You know what I mean? We got a way better tradition. Yeah, we didn't win the 4 Super Bowls, but yes, we went to 4 Super Bowls consecutively.
Exactly.
And every franchise in the NFL would be lying to say, "Oh, I just would want 1." Bullshit. 4 in a row is unprecedented and unheard of, and probably will never be done again, like a perfect season. So I get frustrated when I hear fans be that type of frustrated, because you really should be happy that you have a competitive team on a consistent basis that gives you the hope for a Super Bowl win every year. Everyone knows it's only one team that wins the Super Bowl every year. And you add them up, not one team is winning all of them. It's spread around the league. Everybody's got one or had one or something like that. So, patiently sit back and enjoy the team, and enjoy when you actually have good people there, and just be happy for it, because we didn't have a good GM. We didn't have a good head coach. We didn't have a good starting quarterback. Now we got all 3. And all right, you play a tough game to an upstart team. You lose a tough game here and there, but your team overall is sitting 10-3. Stop with the bullshit and stop crying. You know what I mean? Celebrate your team. Be happy that you're in the hunt. Get excited for the future, because like you said, Josh is a generational quarterback. He's going to be here for you. If he don't, and man, I'm not throwing anything in the air. This year isn't the only year we're looking to win the Super Bowl with him. Come on.
We have a GM that literally built a perennial winner for us, along with a generational quarterback. Like,
let's get real and let's calm down and stop drinking so much. Damn it. Smoke more weed. I think that'll help you out. I'll let them. Everybody out there getting drunk, and listen. I don't think there's a person on the planet that don't drink as much alcohol as I've drinking. So, I mean, I know what it's like when you had a little too many drinks, your emotions get with you and you start talking trash that you really don't need to be talking. You know what I mean? Now, if you smoke, now you're going to be a little bit more thought out about your comments. You ain't going to be
introspective.
Yeah. You ain't gonna just fly off and be like, oh, for McDermott and Johnson, they ain't right, man. They need to go. If you smoke, you're gonna be more like, you know what? That was a hard fought game.
They played their hardest. You know what, man?
I'm glad they pulled that out, man.
Yeah.
You drunk, you be like, they should have blew him out. They should have tore him out. What's wrong with them? So let's get it in perspective here. Smoke more weed.
All right. Next up, the Buffalo Bills got another home game. That's the benefit to when your first 8 games are like full of away games, and you got to go on a road week after week after week. But on the back end of the season, you get to stay home a lot, and win these games in front of the home fans, right? So I think the NFL just wanted to see a lot of snow games because they gave us a crap ton of home games in like November, December, January. So next up, we have the Miami Dolphins. Shout out to everybody in the comment section as well. Shout out to all of you guys watching. Please make sure you guys slap that like button and subscribe.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So next up, we got the Fish. They play tonight versus the Los Angeles Chargers. I was going to say San Diego. Yep. They play against the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert and those guys. Justin Herbert, the top 5 quarterback that can't seem to, win games on a consistent basis. I don't know. What do you think? First of all, before I get to next week, what do you think the Dolphins can do tonight versus? I mean, the Chargers don't suck, but they definitely don't win as many games as they should.
Yeah, they got Khalil Mack over there and everything.
Bosa, Derwin James.
Totally. It definitely is an underachieving team. At the beginning of the season, with all their transactions and what we thought Herbert's progression would be, they seem like they would be a formidable team, but they haven't gotten all the pieces together, whatever the reasons are. The Dolphins, on the other hand, I think they had a tough game the week before, and I think Tua's got a little banged up, but he's back out there. He's been consistent. He's a good player. The guys is top-notch talent, and I don't think they should have too much trouble beating the Chargers. I think it'll be a hard-fought game, but I don't think overall, they'll kind of be like this game here that the Bills just played with the Jets. I think it'll be a tight back and forth here, but the edge, the winning edge would be over on Miami's side just because, Tua's playing with a full deck over there. He's got a lot of weapons, and, that defense for Miami can get after the ball and make things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And Spin, so one of my favorite supporters is my guy Spin. He's in the comment section all the time, and he says can't blame Herbert for the Chargers woes like that. Chargers have been having this problem for the past 20 years. Good on paper, but have this crazy ability to choke all the time. That's fair. Even back when like Marty, you know what? It's the curse of Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah,
it's the curse of Marty Schottenheimer. You had a coach that went 13-3, got a bye. And you fire him.
Yeah,
nah. I was like 12 years old when that happened, and I'll never forget that. I was like, "Are y'all serious? Like, just because he couldn't, because he lost in the playoffs, like, and that actually goes back to what you were saying about 4 straight Super Bowls. okay, they couldn't get it done at the end of the season. But week after week after week of winning, you get to feel this in real time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You get 4 or 5 years of,
Yes.
you going to work happy on Monday,
Yes.
14 out of 16 weeks or 12 out
Yes.
of 16 weeks. You know what I mean? Like there's equity in that,
That's
So
big. Yeah.
it's the curse of Coach Marty Schottenheimer. And I don't put it on Herbert. You know what I mean? I do understand that it's bad luck, it's bad coaching, is bad execution. Okay, cool. But Justin Herbert is like anointed. The same way Nick Wright feels about Josh Allen, who's actually proved it in the postseason and in the regular season. Justin Herbert hasn't. If Josh Allen was 6-6 right now, I don't care how badly his team around him was playing. You are blaming Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes, I don't care how badly his team is playing, you are blaming Patrick Mahomes. And if you're going to be in that conversation with those guys,
you got to win.
You got to win. You got to win. So, that's all I can say about them. But, all right, so you think the Dolphins should have no trouble beating the Chargers. So next week, we're going to have our live podcast at the Mafia House. It's going to be a good one. Prime time, Saturday night in Buffalo. I mean, what are you expecting from the Bills versus Dolphins?
I think the energy is going to be high. I mean, we were thinking about this at the early part of the season. Even when the Bills played Miami first in part of the season, it was a lot of hype to the game. And I don't know about you, but I think we all were kind of bringing it to the fact that the most formidable team in the AFC East was the Dolphins, and so it's turned out to be that case. Just like the Jets, the Dolphins got a win on the Bills, but it was a rugged one for them to be able to pull off. And at this point in time in the season, the Dolphins wouldn't be able to. They don't have the ability to win the game the way they won it last time. But yet they are an improved team. And the Bills seem to have some little glitches that could, make this game seem a lot tighter than what I would have felt some time ago. Now, I think this is going to be a dogfight. I think this is going to be a battle. I think a lot of fur going to fly in this one. It's going to be an exciting game. And, I mean, the Bills should win at the end of the day, but it's going to be a hard-fought win. It's not going to be an easy just, roll your helmet out there. The defense is going to have to show up in ways that they're going to have to orchestrate some serious defense out there. Rousseau is going to have to show up big time for us, which he did today. He did a great job. What he had 2 sacks against the Jets here today.
Rousseau was a problem today. Yeah, he was a
problem. I mean, he was a beast, and we get that.
Rousseau.
Ed
Oliver. So was Matt Milano, for that matter. And Jordan, the defense played well. Just put it that way.
We get those guys to show up and play like that come Saturday. It'll be a great day to squish the fish. But if any of that isn't there, you know what they have over there. So we respect all of the weapons that they have, and they are slightly improved since the last time we played them. They made some trades and things. So it's going to be a barn burner come Saturday. I don't expect the Bills to easily walk out there on the field and just take this one, because I think the Bills are the better team. The Bills are going to have to show the stuff that they believe they have that would make them a Super Bowl team. They're going to have to show that type of stuff this coming Saturday.
All right, looking at this game next Sunday, you have Tua Tagovailoa from Hawaii. Went to school in Hawaii, then went to school at Alabama, which ain't a cold place at all. Now he plays in Miami. You're going to be in Buffalo mid-December at nighttime. I mean, and not only that, but their main weapons happen to be both wide receivers. They can run the ball, don't get me wrong, but their like game-breaking talent is at the wide receiver position. Do you think Tua is going to have enough oomph to be able to get those guys involved? In his throws, at least.
It's going to be tough. I wait to make that comment on the day of the game and see the weather and determine that.
Because our cycle is nice.
Yeah, see, you just stated a whole bunch of things. Like, for example, let's put if the shoe's on the other foot, let's say Josh was playing for Miami and he's coming into Buffalo, but yet he played in Wyoming. And I'll be like, all right, that's a wash. The kid knows how to play in bad weather. He went to college in Wyoming, and it's probably no brainer that he can handle Buffalo weather. Vice versa, Tua. How many snow games or cold weather or brutal extreme temperature weather games has he experienced? That's a factor. People can try all they want to pretend it's not. It's a factor. Just like I talked to you about today, the footing. When the snow or icy condition, when the rain turns to freezing rain, the ground isn't normal slick anymore. It's a little bit slipperier. So how will he handle those conditions? He has never experienced anything like the Buffalo weather. And they will have to rely on, shorter passing game and a running game in order to get going. Just like we will. We're going to have to rely on our running game to a degree and passing game, even though Josh can, get back there and chuck the ball down the field in the wind and cold weather. But, it's going to be tough for both teams. That weather is, regardless, what gives us the advantage is just superior defensive play and the ability to get these little necessary yardage, in the short game. It's not dropping back and throwing big bombs down the field. It's the short, consistent plays that you can make over and over when you're in inclement weather. That's what makes you the winning team, opposed to, just being able to manage and get one big shot down there and score a touchdown. No, you got to get that. A whole bunch of little short passes and little 2, 3, 4 yard runs, and or you could just call Ricky Williams up and tell him it's snowing and playing in Buffalo, and motherfucker gonna run for 300.
Yeah.
I used to tease Keo and London them about that so much. I was like, damn, guys, get out of his damn way. Maybe he'll run and fall over. They were like, fuck you, Ruben. You ain't shit. I said, God damn, man, get out that boy's way.
You see, as a Buffalo Bills purist, like stuff like the anecdotes like that is hilarious. Those are cool, because I remember watching Takeo Spikes and London Fletcher out there on the field. So to hear things like that is pretty cool.
I said, that boy done got in the Hall of Fame on y'all. They was like, fuck you, man. But listen, that's the beauty. Like when we play sports, our teammates, they'll use something that you messed up on to dig at you, to mess with you a little bit. But it only is to inspire you to come back and, and the next day, if they do something well, they coming back and they telling me, they let me know. You know what I mean? So it only inspires good competition and stuff like that. And, I just love when those situations come up. And that was a special night, man. Whew. We should have still won that game too.
Well, I mean, if they running the ball the entire time, I mean, Can't have scored a ton, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, Justus, I appreciate it, man. It's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a great show. Again, the Buffalo Bills defeat the New Jersey Jets 20-12, and they move to 10-3. Still the number 1 seed in the AFC East. And by the way, score alert: the Denver Broncos have 21 points to the Kansas City Chiefs 27, and the Denver Broncos have the ball. So,
hey, hands in there. I'm with you.
I'm just letting y'all know. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys know we appreciate every single like, comment, retweet, subscription, share, repost, all of it. We appreciate all the love. So thank you for giving it. I'm Justice General Radford. That's the Hall of Famer. All right. It's not too many people that's in that class of player that can be nominated for the Hall of Fame. That's Ruben Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Ruben. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it. Always good. Hey, we'll get back on and do something again real quick this week.
Oh, absolutely. All right, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
One love.
Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information, from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online